Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Make It Destination. My name is Amanda. This is where I help you make it to your destination. I just want to say thank you so much for your continued support. If this is your first time here, welcome. And this week we're going to do another Get Ready With Me video. And while I get ready, we're going to be talking about Dubai. So I just have my notes here. Answer 3 questions, basically. So, how did Dubai become a popular tourist destination? What problems has this caused? And lastly, what can we do to be more mindful travelers? So yeah, let's just get straight into the video. Also, don't forget to like this video. If you like this content, let me know what other places you want me to cover in the comments. Subscribe and hit that notification bell. So yeah, let's get right into it. Today I'm actually not going to do foundation because with the mask sometimes it gets a little too much, so I'm just going to put like a serum on. Again, I'm not a makeup channel, but I do like doing these get ready with me videos just because I get to get ready for my day and you also get to hear about a destination. So I'm going to link all of the articles that I used in the description and also all the products that I'm using in my face right now. So the main question that I wanted to answer and find out is, how did Dubai become a popular tourist destination, right? I have never been to Dubai. I have wanted to go to Dubai. I actually learned about it in class a few years ago. I think as an American, and I'm not saying this in a historical sense, but just when I was doing research, not a lot of Americans go to the Middle East region. It's mainly people from the UK, mainly people from Europe, people from Asia, but not many US tourists go to the Middle East. And so that's why, I kind of wanted to do some investigating. Also, somebody recommended this video, so Ange, if you're watching, this is a little shout out to you. I want to make sure I did this video for you. When I did my Cancun video, Ange asked for Dubai. So, all right, let's just get into the question. So how did Dubai become a popular tourist destination, right? Before 1966, it was a small trading port, and its main industry was pearling. It was pretty small. I'm going to put a picture right here of what it looked like. So, put that in right there. And, it was small. It wasn't really on the radar or anything. Also, just to let you know, Dubai is a part of the United Arab Emirates, and I'm going to also put a picture of where it is located because I always like to have a geographic sense to this. After 1966, that was the year that they discovered oil. Now, if you don't know, oil brings countries a lot of money. But this is the problem with oil. There's something known as the resource curse. And what that is basically if you were to put all your eggs in one basket. You have a great resource that many people want. Many countries want it. This could be oil, this could be diamonds, anything like that. And your country solely depends on it. And it can bring you a lot of money. But if there's a financial crash, if there's not a desire for that commodity anymore, your government or your economy is fully capable of declining because you're only relying on that one resource. So that's why they call it the resource curse. A lot of places that find oil, yes, it's exciting, but at the same time, it's very nerve-wracking because once it's gone, that's it. The individual Dubai officials knew this. They knew about the resource curse. They saw an opportunity. And instead of relying on oil for as long as possible and seeing what that could bring them, they decided that maybe we should use the money we get from oil to spur development in order to create a booming tourism industry so that they wouldn't have to rely on oil anymore, which I personally think is very smart. If you're going to succumb to the resource curse, you really should invest in something else to keep your city afloat. They put money into development. They saw an opportunity within their trading hub because there's a saltwater waterway that runs through the city, and it was dredged. You're going to hear this word a lot. Dredged means taking a physical solid material from a water environment. Put a little boat here for you to show you what it looks like, because sometimes it's hard to visualize. You're literally taking sand or rock from the ocean floor and you're dredging it up, and you're either using that sand or you're extracting the sand and bringing it somewhere else. So they dredged it several times so that bigger ships could go through, because if you have bigger ships, you could get different sort of commodities running in and out. So in 1985, the city became a free zone. And essentially what a free zone is a place where foreign companies pay no taxes or customs. And there's a streamlined bureaucracy. They don't want to be in a place where the government is falling apart, where they don't know if their company is going to survive, but they want to keep their company somewhere where they don't have to pay taxes. So becoming this free zone was essentially telling the world, hey, we want investors here. We want companies here. And if you don't have to pay taxes, you're gonna attract a lot of different companies into that region. Well, I always go with this palette for some reason. Okay. But the Middle East has always struggled in attracting tourists. What's going on, but sometimes it's just, you might not have the history or the beaches, which I'm not saying they don't, but sometimes it's hard. But basically in 2004, they only had 4.6% of what they call the world's arrivals, which is, people getting on planes in order to go to your country. That's low. 4.6%, that's pretty low as a region, especially in 2004, there wasn't an economic crisis at that time. It wasn't '08. That's pretty low. And they realize this. But there are some reasons that people speculate that the Middle East has problems attracting people. And some people say it's a lack of infrastructure. People want to make sure, especially if you're coming from a place of, the UK or Europe or Asia or the US, you want to make sure you have running water, power, the same amenities you have at home, you want to make sure you have in the country that you're traveling to. There's also a lack of planning and marketing. Now this goes back to my other video about all-inclusive resorts in Jamaica. You remember I played a little clip of, and if you haven't seen that video, click on that. It's a good video. I'm a little biased though. Sandals has done such a great job in marketing the Caribbean, right? There's always a commercial playing like a cable of oh, this is Sandals Ochi, this is, Sandals Montego Bay, and it's a beautiful, beautiful region. So if you don't plan or market too well, who's gonna know about it? A lot of people, especially in 2004, it was solely commercial. So social media wasn't big. You couldn't go on Instagram and be like, oh, this person's in Bora Bora, Dubai, and you could see where they were at. It was more about commercials. So there has been a lack of planning and marketing. And then they also had very strict entry requirements, which, again, this isn't my opinion. This is something I saw out of a few articles. But there's kind of a looking down upon Western notions of travel, and they kind of use entry requirements as a place to bar that. So tourists generally need to have an interest in the activities of the host country they're going to. They're not going to go somewhere where they're going to be bored or there's something they don't want to do. But they also need to feel secure and safe. They don't want to go somewhere where they don't know if they're safe, if they're going to be safe or not. So you want to feel secure in picking a destination. So these are all the problems that Middle Eastern countries face. But Dubai, in essentially investing in its infrastructure, was able to build, and I'm going to name them, build all these beautiful structures. The Dubai Mall, which is the second biggest mall in the world. The Burj Khalifa, the Dubai Frame, which I absolutely think the Dubai Frame is stunning. All these, by the way, from an urban planning perspective, make Dubai look super futuristic. Just their skyline in general. The Dubai Aquarium, the Burj Al Arab, the Jumeirah Beach, the Dubai Palms, the water park and gardens. The Burj Khalifa, I think, is the tallest building in the world, and it's massive. We're going to move on to the next question, and we're going to talk about what problems has this rapid development led to. So, let's get into the second part. What problems has this rapid development led to? We're going to start off with the environmental consequences. The Dubai palms. From space, they're supposed to look like palm trees, which I think is a very cool idea. Again, not all ideas are great once they're implemented, but I think it's a great idea. There's 3 palms, the Palm Jumeirah, Dara Island, and Palm Jebel Ali. So again, we're gonna hear this word dredge. It's just mind-blowing how much humans changed their landscape and how we sometimes think there's no consequences and there really are. So they dredged, in 2001, they dredged about 3 billion, and when I say billion, that's with a B, billion cubic feet of sand from their seafloor. Billion. Okay, I know I keep saying that, but billion. And they used GPS technology in order to make sure the location was correct and that they were placing the sand that they were dredging in the right area. What this did, essentially, is it changed temperature, wave, and erosion patterns. When you're dredging that much sand, there are going to be drastic changes to your landscape. You're moving one physical material to another physical location. Again, Dubai has this goal of becoming the most popular tourist destination, but I also think they need to think about the effects this has. So on these palms are supposed to be hotels, McMansions, luxury resorts, basically a rich person's playground. They built a circle around the palms using 7 million tons of mountain rock in order to protect the palms from erosion and storms. So they knew that it would erode because you're moving from you're moving sand to another physical location. So they wanted to make sure that it wouldn't erode. They also destroyed some coral reefs when they did this because you're taking something from the sea floor, and you're moving it to create land. They had to recreate or try to recreate coral reefs. And they did this by getting 2 American fighter jets and putting them on the seafloor. But again, I feel like environmental problems are like glass. Once you shatter glass, you could try to glue it, you could try to tape it, but once it's broken, it's broken. That's exactly what happened. So now erosion of the coastline is a problem. The 2 larger palms and they had plans for not only these 3 palms, but lands that look like the world. And I'll put a picture here so you can see it. The world and the universe. They literally were going to create like a galaxy and like the solar system with sand. They're both on hold now due to falling real estate prices. The Palm Jumeirah is the one that development has been successful on, is what I'm trying to say. Where there are McMansions, where there are hotels, but the individuals who live on the Palm Jumeirah have been saying that the water quality is not good, because you have to think, if you're building a ring around this palm and there's water in the palm, that water is staying stagnant, right? There's no movement in there. Now the second problem, what is the cost of luxury, right? We have to ask ourselves. They built so quickly from 1966 till now. That's only a few decades. What is the cost of that? And the cost, unfortunately, is migrant suffering and labor. Now, a lot of countries do this, America included. Our farmland is mainly cultivated by migrant labor. So about 90% of Dubai's population are expats. Now, what is an expat? An expat is somebody who leaves their home country for another. So 90%. And that's around 3.1 million. The most notorious labor system in Dubai is called the kafala labor system. Now, basically what the kafala labor system is that an employer looks for employees in an outside country. What they do is they pay for their visa, they pay for the cost of transportation in order to get them to the country in exchange for labor. Unfortunately, there have been bad consequences since migrants don't have too many rights. And the consequences are, if a worker tries to leave without permission, they could be fined or have their visa taken away. And you have to think, you just left your home country in order to create a better life for yourself and your family. So you don't want to go back. So that's scary. You're going to listen to your employer. There's also long work days with 12-hour shifts, if not longer. And when you're in Dubai, it's a desert. It gets hot. And then with the construction on top of that, yeah, it's a lot. Also, workers are in debt to their employer since they're paying for their visa and their trip over. If you're in debt to your employer, you can't just leave. You have to pay them back at some point. So Dubai has actually implemented some programs to help this problem, which I think is good. I want to give credit where credit is due. So what they have done is implemented employee training session programs so that employees know their rights. And it's good to be educating your workforce on their rights so they know what they're entitled to. And they also established a law on having a set amount of working hours. And they also implemented a law that gives severe penalties to employers who don't guarantee their employees guaranteed rights. All right, so I gave credit where credit is due, but it has gotten worse over the shutdown. Many migrant workers have had to go back home. And these migrant workers are from Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nigeria, India, and the Philippines. They have been forced to go back home. And also, there are certain workers who are still there who want to receive help and aid, but they haven't been able to. So taxi workers want to go on strike for shutdown pay, but they can't because they risk losing their visas. So these are the 2 problems I presented to you, and there are environmental issues, and there's also social issues that even the human, I believe it's like Traffic Watch, knows about these human rights violations. So we're going to get into what can we do as tourists in order to mitigate our social and environmental footprint when traveling to Dubai. So let's get into that. So for the third part of this video, we're going to be answering the question, what can we do as mindful tourists? This isn't a black and white issue. These solutions that I present to you are mainly mainly opinion based. These are questions we have to be asking ourselves for the future. The first thing that I said for what we could do is educate ourselves on the destinations we choose. I know I always say this in these Mindful Traveler series videos, but we really do and should educate ourselves on the destinations we choose. That was part of the reason why I started this channel in the first place, was because I noticed a lot of people travel, but they don't know the history behind the destination they're going to, what problems they have, what tourism means to the country, and how that helps them. Because I'm not saying Dubai's tourism is horrible, because it's not. They really have achieved a lot of development and beautiful urban planning goals in such a short amount of time. But what I'm saying is you should know at least a little bit about the country that you're visiting. A lot of people just see a picture of somebody somewhere and they're like, oh, I just want to go, it's so beautiful, which is great. I want people to travel, but you should know how it came about. Why is it a popular tourist destination? Like, why do you want to go there? Has it always been a popular tourist destination, or has it created itself to become that popular tourist destination? So that leads me into my second point, which is don't be what I call a blinded tourist when you go somewhere. And what I mean by that is every place has its problems. No, there's no perfect place. Every place has either environmental, social, economic, whatever, you name it, they probably have it. Not Dubai, but I'm just talking about anywhere in the world. So don't go into it with rose-colored glasses and think it's going to be heaven on earth, right? Because there are going to be some problems within the country. So don't kind of be like, oh, I don't see it, you know. And again, I know you want to enjoy your vacation, you want to explore, live your life, which is fine, but try not to go into it blinded in the least. You know, see the problem, maybe look it up. You know, that's what I did when I went to Los Angeles, actually. I was like, why are there so many homeless people? Is it just because there's a lot of rich people? Is it because it's very expensive? Like, why do they have such a bad homeless problem? I wanted to know the answer to that. So try not to be a blinded tourist. Not every trip has to be an educational one, but also know that this is a country that has its own economy, its own population, and that you are a visitor in somebody else's home. And lastly, I said for this part is understand what the host country is trying to achieve, right? Are they trying to maximize the number of tourists they receive? Are they trying to maximize how much, instead of quantity, maybe the quality of tourists they're trying to receive? Going to Paris is going to be completely different than going to South Africa or going to Vietnam or going to the US. So understand what the host country or host city is trying to achieve. In this case, Dubai wants to be the most popular, or at least one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world. So of course you're going to see these grand structures, these grandiose things that you can't do everywhere, right? The Burj Khalifa, the palms. They even have a ski resort that creates its own snow in the desert. These are luxury, expensive items. They're trying to attract you to go there for these structures and things because, again, it's not like the Caribbean. It does have a beach, but it's not like the Caribbean where it could rely on the natural landscape. It's not like Peru where they have Machu Picchu, where they have old structures like that. So they want to make sure that they're attracting the tourist, and they're doing that through development. So overall, I hope this video helped you. If you're going to Dubai, let me know in the comments if you've ever been. I really would like to know. I really do want to visit just because from an urban planning perspective, it really is a fascinating city. The fact that they used oil in order to create these structures and make sure that they did not solely rely on oil is very smart. Honestly, I'm going to put in a picture of the frame. The frame just looks so beautiful. It is an achievement what they have done, but just also, and this is something I'm going to do when I go to Dubai, is remember, there are environmental effects. Humans change their environment. There are environmental repercussions because of that. There are also social repercussions when you're trying to build so fast. You need labor to build those massive buildings. The Dubai Mall, the Burj Khalifa, the Palms. Anything like that requires lots of people to be working on it. Where are they going to get that labor? Not in Dubai. And again, lots of countries are like that. They rely on migrant labor so that you get a reasonable price as a consumer. That's all I have to say for this last part, is just educate yourself on where you go. Try not to be a blinded tourist, and understand what the host country is trying to achieve. And that is all for this video. If you liked it, click the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss one of my videos. And yeah, thank you so much for getting ready with me. And let me know in the comments, are there any other countries or cities you want me to cover? This has been a fun series for me. I feel like I've been learning a lot. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for getting ready with me. So until next time.